What's up? What's up, y'all? Hey, things you can learn from a scavenger. Yo, I was thinking about that whole non-selected select thing. One thing to get clear to everybody, it's not an absolute thing. It's like a kind of like a bell curve. You got one extreme and then the other one, but you got a whole lot of shit in between, right? And even within the non-select, right? There's some generally non-select dudes who, quite frankly, got high body counts. They collecting body counts and stuff, right? And those are like the scavengers, man. The scavengers. Now, what's a scavenger? Now, usually the men who are select, right? They going to be, physically, handsome, built, whatever, right? Um, they're going to draw women to them naturally, right? And if they build and have a little bit of money, hey, the women going crazy over them, right? But you got some guys out here, they pretty much ugly and ugly from birth. And their bodies, they can do whatever in the gym. They might can get physically strong, but they ain't going to get cut or get that aesthetic women like, or, maybe that height or whatever, the physical thing. And quite frankly, the dudes ain't going to make too much money. Sometimes we might call them dusty dudes or something, but they fucking like crazy. They fucking like crazy. And when I say things you can learn from them, I mean there's things you can learn from them, right? Now, first of all, right, when young men get rejected or something, they go one or two ways. They become sad and then, make 1,000 videos on YouTube trying to convince women that they really need to fuck with an ugly dude. Or they say, fuck it, they're going to get theirs, right? That's the thing. They say, fuck it, they're going to get theirs by any means necessary, whatever, right? But usually with the scavenger, right, they figured, okay, we don't got all that. Let me just holler. So what they start out with, they holler at those low-lying fruit, right? They holler at that low-lying fruit. So the first thing that you can learn from them is they got zero shame. They don't give a fuck. They'll walk out there with that 300-pound woman proudly. Shit, I knew this scavenger brother. That's where I learned a lot of shit from. He didn't care. He didn't care. He was joking about his this woman he messed with. Until he said, "Yeah, Rom, that guy was 300 pounds. She get in the car be leaning over. He ain't give a fuck. That motherfucker didn't give a fuck, right? And so they don't have any shame, And since they know they ain't gonna really get chosen, because even that women choose the man thing, that's not a hard science. That's just a tendency. There's always an exception. So these guys, they ain't wait for any choosing signals. They just gonna shoot. They shoot their shot. They don't give a fuck. They will walk across them. They will holler at that woman. They'll be straight up, right? So there's, second thing you can learn from them about being bold, because these dudes have probably been rejected from the time they were in daycare. Hell. Like, shit, when it came home from the hospital, their old family members might not have wanted to hold them and shit. The mother was reluctant and whatnot. But, so these dudes, shit, they've been dealing with, so they like, well, shit, what the worst can happen? And that's usually the attitude, so they don't give a fuck, right? So they bold. They'll holler at them. Now, a funny thing happens. Yes, they will holler at any woman. They got a low basement, but because they so bold, they don't give a fuck about going for a beautiful woman. Most dudes who don't go for beautiful women are scared because of rejection. They assume they're going to reject. They ain't enough of anything. That scavenger dude don't give a fuck. He already been rejected. Shit, he lives with that shit. He was born in that shit. He's saying what? He's like, what the fuck I got to lose? That's why sometimes you do see a beautiful woman with like that jacked up looking guy, and you wondering what the hell, he must got money. You know when the motherfucker broke. But no, and really here's some game for y'all. A lot of times these very beautiful women don't got guys trying to holler at them. So a lot of times they're a little bit more receptive to the guy who act like he ain't scared of them. That's just that simple game, right? But yeah, they bold, no shame, they bold, holler at everybody. And I'm gonna tell you the real piece that can really like a lot of scavengers. because they don't mind, because they don't have any real standards or anything, shit, they get a lot of sexual experience. So if they start off young just trying to holler at everybody, shit, they get older, shit, boom. And women can kind of pick up on that. Like a good scavenger is the equivalent of like that fat girl who, you know, she don't look too good or whatever. She might be ugly, but she'll tell you straight up she'll suck the fuck out your dick. She'll suck the life out your dick. Like scavenger dudes, shoot, they some freak motherfuckers. They would do whatever. Like I knew this one dude, he was kind of a funny looking dude, but he tell a woman straight up he eat their pussy. Eat them both. Shit, he be licking their lips in front of him and shit, but that motherfucker was a badass woman and shit. I'm still mad he got with this one woman. I be asking him about it. I be like, damn, so how was she like, bro? How'd you give her? I already knew how he do, because he don't give a fuck. He was like, whatever. Right? And then that sex game, I look, if your sex game on point, women forgive a lot of shit. Yeah, eat that pussy right, they forgive a lot of shit. You can stroke them right, have them screaming and shit. Yeah, shit. They'll find the beauty in your ass. They be like, you know what? His nose is like one of the most perfect things, knowing everything around the nose is jacked up, right? But that sex game, see, because the scavenger, like I said, he learns because he don't give a fuck. And he knows he ain't hooking the woman because he looking like Idris Elba. And he know he don't got money like that to get like the acceptable hoes or the acculturated prostitutes. You know, he can't trick. He probably got an ordinary job. You know, he be looking all dusty with his, like, you know, shoes from Walmart or something like that. He don't give a fuck. So he know he got it. Once he get in there, he got to turn it out. See, that be that dude. Oh, another thing about them, right? Because they holler at so many women, they, at some point as they get older, they figure out who's receptive or not. Those motherfuckers, man, those are motherfuckers who really got some game, though. Those are motherfuckers, you want to like really learn some game, go find one of those scavenger motherfuckers seem like they holler at everybody, right? They'll tell you some shit, because they'll look at a woman and shit, because they done hollered at so many. If you holler at about, if like by the age of 30, say, or 40, you done hollered at probably 10,000 women in your life. After a while, you figure out who will do what. Because you done seen it, you done caught every type of rejection, your skin thick as hell, like, you had to use a Star Wars cannon to get through that motherfucker, right? So they done figured out the shit. So they'll look at a woman and they already done figured out everything because they probably dealt with 100 like her before. So they'll look at her and say, yeah, she got some red underwear on. Yeah, she looking like a church woman, but she'll come off that chandelier. Oh yeah, she probably got a tattoo on her left shoulder. Somebody get her clothes off, they see all that shit. They'd be like, damn, she got a tattoo. Seriously, I see cats like that, because what, they kind of like those dudes in prison. They don't got nothing to do but sit around and like figure out something. Like a scavenger motherfucker, because like I said, when they're young, they really start out like around puberty or probably earlier than that nowadays. They just go for whoever. But at some point, they learn. They's like, oh, okay, let me maximize my shit, right? Like a scavenger motherfucker, like they know they non-select, but they good with it. Because the one thing about a scavenger motherfucker, they accept their lot in life and just make the best. They make lemonade and shit. They get those lemons and make lemonade, right? So they'll sit around, you know, they know what's up. So like if they know a woman, right, say they meet some woman, she got a big old wedding ring on and shit, right? They work with her, might see her around, right? That's that cat who's patient enough, because he'll just be looking at her. He won't say much, he'll just look at her. All of a sudden, she might just have that minute look that most dudes won't pick up on. Hey, girl. You know, that minute. Nah, she too young. Anyway, they'll have just that, like, brief second when you know, when that dude know he can get in there with that woman. And plus, if it's a situation like he's in the same social circuit work with, he probably already done told her he want to fuck. So she be chilling. She probably come to work or whatever. Like say they on a job or something. She come to work. You know, she don't got the same pep in the step. And dude already know what's up. He said, yeah, that man done messed up. And he be like, hey, what's wrong? You all right? You okay, sis? And he be like, and she'll say like she okay. He say, okay, well, you know. You ever need to talk about something, I'm right here. I don't judge, right? And she'd be like, okay. She come in again. All of a sudden, she come in. She ain't feeling like anything, you know. She feeling low and stuff. And you'd be like, yeah, oh man, he'll praise something on her. He'll praise something on her, you know, because he could tell her husband ain't doing it. He'll praise, be like, hey, your hair look nice. No, it's the same hairstyle she always wears. So, your hair look nice today. Shoot. Oh man, you smelling good. What you got on? She'd be like, soap. He started working his little shit because she ain't getting it at home. Then all of a sudden, boom, she opened up to him, right? And then sometime later, go back to his sister's house stick it through the basement door because that's probably where he lived, right? And be like, all of a sudden, he fucking her. Well, yeah, but those scavengers learn from that shit, man. No shame, bold, don't give a fuck. I mean, they don't give a fuck about rejection. It's like, and they don't wait for choosing signals. They see a woman, they want to fuck her, they go for it, right? Shit. Oh man, you could really learn a lot. Now I know some people want to be picky and shit, but you can still be picky. In fact, I advise it. But shit, you bold and make sure you're memorable in the bedroom. Boom. See, a lot of these dudes be saying, "Well, how this dude get it? How this dude?" Y'all motherfuckers don't understand. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm gonna just say this shit, man. Very little real game. Is no disrespect to any of the other dating coaches, but really very little real game is taught online and free. I just gave you a level of game a coach might teach you, but he ain't going to be public about it. And really, it's really kind of like that street game, that poor man game and shit, right? That's that like dude who be just hanging out, don't really have a job, or working about 3 or 4 minimum wage jobs, hanging out, but talk to everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's that game. That's that pure street game, man. It ain't, yeah, because it's got to be bold. People don't understand. If you're a dude, then you ain't like that alpha showpiece, or you ain't that successful man, and you ain't the dude that women dreaming about. Shit, you gotta figure out how you gonna get your dick wet. So that's the game right there. That's why I said one time, really, if you really want to get red pilled or even game, sell all your shit and move to a city you don't have any relatives, you don't know anybody. You'll get some game then where it's about survival. Seriously, no shame. Be bold. Hell, if you just be bold, and then make sure your sex game is memorable. And you might have to do some stuff. You need to be a little freak about it. Don't do that like vanilla ass sex. Do some crazy shit. Shit. That's how those scavengers be winning and shit. People will laugh at them and all of that. But yeah, they'll get those women that were busted and all of that. But sometimes those are the same dudes coming out the back door of that married beautiful woman. Because her husband's so busy working and he good for the show, but he ain't eating the poo. And if you got squeamish about eating the poo, well, that level game ain't for you. Because that's the biggest thing anyway. You got to be a freak out there with these women behind closed doors. Just like you want them to be a freak. So, learn a lot from those scavengers. You don't have to specifically be, but just learn the important thing. Like, at least the 2 most important things. Personally, I think you should have a level of shame. I'm just describing what they do. You should have some level of shame. You should be at some place you don't go. But, if you see a woman, be bold. What the fuck? Well, the worst she can do is tell you no. Be bold. And make sure when you do get the shot, make sure she remember that shit. She'll call you back. That's why you'll get some dudes who might seem like they're select because they got a lot of women, but they really ain't. But they just play their spot. They know where they at. They good with it. They accept it. Some even cool with it because they say, all right, this woman ain't going to bother me about marriage. This woman ain't going to like make me have to take her out to dinner. All I have to do is come over, hit that shit, and go back. Boom. So anyway, right, that's all I got. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.